Hey, what's up, everyone? I am DREAGEN, and you are watching another exciting edition of the Kaiju commentary. On this one, we are watching 1966 War of the Gargantuas. Now, as always, when you see the Toho logo appear on your screen, that is your cue to start listening to us. So we're going to kick things off in 3, 2, 1. Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of the Kaiju commentary. Today we are watching Frankenstein Conquers the World official sequel, War of the Gargantuas.
Spooky.
It is spooky.
This music's pretty. Well, it was spooky. Now it's intense.
Now it's, classic kaiju fanfare. This opening reminds me a lot of like Mothra versus Godzilla, where the shot of the ocean's kind of sea's not quite as violent, but almost gives it again that horror movie feel, and I think they're playing off kind of the Frankenstein's monster mythology a little bit. The thunder and lightning.
Yeah.
Whereas the opening to the previous, Mothra vs. Godzilla was more or less kind of like, supposed to be kind of this epic wrath of nature feel. This is more like horror movie feel, which I dig, man.
It's good.
Let's good. She approves, folks. You hear that? We're good to go.
Good to go.
We can add this movie to the pantheon of great films. Finally. Now, this film will, curiously enough, retcon just a couple little, really just one thing from Frankenstein Conquers the World, his appearance, which we'll get to when we get to that.
On a boat.
Don't you ever forget.
Seems like they start on boats a lot. I mean, I know Japan's an island, so it makes sense. But...
Well, yeah, so there's going to be some boats, man.
Oh, the boats. I bet he's a fisherman.
Well, that would make sense. Being on a boat and all. It's a good place to find fish as a start.
It is.
Ooh.
Oh, gross. Or whatever that is.
Some,
octopus?
Some tentacle hentai, anyone?
Oh, I don't think he wants to find that. That's gonna find him, though. Oh, no. It's so slimy. They actually did a really good job with that.
Away! My first love is the sea.
So it's that 9 o'clock already, is it?
Man, shift change is a bitch. No, you're gonna get a good look at the, the octopi in question here in a second, and I'm fairly certain that if you watch with us the international version of Frankenstein Conquers, here we go, Frankenstein Conquers the World. This is the octopus they created for that. So for Japanese audiences, who only saw the Japanese cut of that movie, they would not have seen the octopus. So this is a great way for Toho to kind of reuse this puppet they built. Because otherwise they built this great puppet that their own audience didn't really get to see.
Yeah.
Except the one time it apparently accidentally aired on a Japanese television. And people who had seen the movie in theaters, they were like, what the hell? But yeah, no, this is a great effect shot here.
Yeah,
and right here, the other compositing shot, you can see the compositing is getting a lot better. Like, Toho is really, stepping up their game. I mean, there's still a few shots here and there in these movies that look like, but it's definitely gotten better. It's very, very impressive kind of first shot you see, kind of first monster. And again, Japan being an island nation, the idea of things coming out of the water would be scary. There we go. We get our first look at one of the Gargantuas. Already you're kind of saying, while still very humanoid looking, already a bit more kind of beastly proportions.
A lot hairier.
Yeah?
It's a hairy situation.
Oh.
Oh.
You are so much better than that.
I try. But I fail.
In this particular Gargantua, I always have trouble with the name, so you'll have to excuse me. I believe his name, it's pronounced
Oh.
Gyra.
Wow, his
Gyra or Gyra? I'm
is
going to
a
say
lot
Gyra.
different.
Yeah.
And he's got like big old pointy, well, giant pointy ears.
Yeah, more of a monstrous representation of the human form, whereas Frankenstein basically was just a guy with some brow prosthetics. This is much more monster looking, but still very human.
It's bath time for him.
I know. You gotta fuck up that boat. Where's my money? Where's my money?
Jesus. Oh my god.
That's what happens.
Those poor people inside.
That's what happens when you don't pay rent in that part of the world.
And the ocean.
The sea is a cruel mistress.
Instead of a troll under a bridge, you have a...
It was Ariel's like aunt or whatever from Little
Ursula?
Mermaid. Ursula, that's like her muscle right there.
Jesus.
She comes to collect, baby. And as always, you will see, returning, actors in all these films, which I say it every time, and I know it's probably getting very, very redundant for a lot of you guys, but I just love I love it. Because it's almost like, okay, this actor, what are they going to play in this movie? That actor, what are they going to play in this movie? See, right away they're mentioning Frankenstein. Because in this continuity, the only kaiju we've seen are Frankenstein and Baragon. That guy looks so like fucking A.
Wow, only 5 people on that entire giant boat?
It wasn't that big.
It was pretty big.
Oh yeah, but it wasn't like a freaking... It was something like smaller than that ship. So a man is claiming that a giant monster destroyed his boat 100 meters offshore. Let's send divers in.
Woohoo!
And again, this is a continuity where there has already been 2 giant monsters, so it's not entirely outside the realm of possibility. I'm just saying. But it's also interesting here too because we're seeing a kaiju predate upon human beings. They're actually like, because I was thinking Frankenstein and the Gargantuas, you'll see, they're big. But they're on the smaller end of the kaiju spectrum. They're about as small as you can really get while still being called a kaiju. Any smaller than that, you're just a big animal, I would say. A really big animal, to be sure, but... And again, I find it interesting that homeboy here doesn't believe him. Even though I'm like, okay, you saw the location. You saw they were like 100 meters offshore. What else could have done that? Like, what else could have like brought the ship down? It's not like just huge rocks or anything. And like I said, you've already had 2 giant monsters in this continuity. Both of which were unrelated to one another. Yes, Gargantuas don't exist, just like Frankenstein's monster and a giant subterranean dinosaur doesn't exist. And if you watch the international version, a giant octopus. They're getting a flashback kind of. I always thought this shot coming up right here is super scary. Look at that! Look at that!
Jesus
Just
Christ.
imagining being in the water and seeing that come after you. It's like, holy crap!
I'd just be like, I'm done.
It's kind of like a. It looks like a little kid going after something that.
Yeah, that's terrifying. See, it's like I said, it was bath time for Frankenstein. Or whatever his name
This
is.
one's Gyra.
Gyra.
I believe it's Gyra, not Gira. It's I think it's Gyra. Again, it's like Varan. Is it Varan or Varan? Is it Gyra? Gira? I'm gonna say Gyra.
I think of something better.
Yeah, it's a good point. Like, dude, if I'm gonna make some shit up, I'll be like, we sprung a leak. One of the guys killed everyone. There's a million things I'll come up with before. Yeah, a giant fucking monster did it. Like, although again in this continuity, okay. Previous events have suggested that perhaps it's not entirely unreasonable.
Guess he's not a liar after all, so I was an asshole for no reason.
And right away, you're going to see some cast changes. Now, you're going to see the cast from the Frankenstein Conquers the World return. Well, all the characters except Dr. Stewart, who in Frankenstein Conquers the World was played by Nick Adams. However, in this film, he is played by Russ Tamlin. That guy.
Clearly, he's the same white guy.
Well, it's kind of funny because you look at the actor Nick played him the first time. Blonde.
That's my point.
Super fair skin. Blue-eyed. New guy. Brown. Straight blonde hair. This guy. Curly brown hair. Tan. Brown eye. It's like a completely different looking guy.
He's got a tiny nose.
And here we have
Do you know
Bill
why the
Mizuni.
Nick guy didn't want to come back or no? It wasn't.
I knew I hadn't looked up in a while, but yeah, I know. I believe there was a. I'm not sure why he didn't come back.
Maybe
I don't know if he just didn't do it. I mean, I know there's a reason why, and I used to know it, and I admittedly apologize because I don't remember.
Sorry to put you on the spot like that.
I know. Why you got to do me like that? You will notice though, Russ's performance is a bit more. I think Nick's performance. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like them both. I think they did both a good job. But you do see kind of a different. Nick was a bit more. Was a bit more brash the way he played the character. He was more of like kind of. I felt more. See right here, we're retconning a little bit what they felt Frankenstein looked like.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah. And you'll see that Dr. Stewart here isn't breaking chairs over his back. He's much more compassionate. He's much more like sympathetic. He's more like curious, like a scientist. Whereas Nick was like, anytime Frankenstein would, raise his eyebrow, he'd be ready to, punch him in the face. And I felt that maybe he was, I don't know if there was direction they gave him or just the way the actor. Well, I mean, it was in the script, I guess, but it felt like he was playing in the character a bit more the way perhaps other cultures kind of perceive Americans, or like American leading men, more like the strong action,
she just
quick.
spilled it on him.
I know, right? Like quick to action kind of character. Whereas this portrays much more, feels more like a scientist, in my opinion. He's more sympathetic. He's more analytical. I mean, granted, perhaps the events of the first film might have, softened them up a little bit, but I find his portrayal of a scientist in this film by Russ a bit more believable. But again, not that the acting is better or worse. They both did good jobs. They just play the character differently. This shot coming up is cool. There's a lot of scary as hell shots. Like if you're afraid of the ocean or going in the water, this is like
Oh fuck! Holy shit!
This is like. That's why I always say it's almost worse when the water's crystal clear and you can see to the bottom because you realize just how big and vast and deep it is. It's almost better when you don't know. So for all of you guys who are afraid of shark attacks, now teamwork for the win, or maybe not for the win.
What
Actually,
are they trying to drag in?
Like fishing nets.
Man, what an asshole.
Guy was like, not in my house.
He's like, I helped. I'm a big helper.
And again, I love how he's just. It's scary to think
Why did they draw him like he has scales?
What's the thing? When you get a better look at his body, his texture is weird. It's kind of hairy, but it almost looks like it has scale in certain areas.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's got a really weird kind of outer.
I'm gonna say it's all like too dark to see half the time.
Yeah, you'll see him clear up. And here they're talking, okay, could it be Frankenstein? How could it be Frankenstein? Frankenstein was killed, regardless of which continuity you watch, whether it be the Japanese cut or the international version. The Japanese cut, he was pulled down underground. The international cut, he was pulled kind of down underground into the sea by the octopus, but he went down no matter what. And here we're seeing tracks in a completely different area. Which, if you are familiar with the movie or just have listened to the name of the movie, War of the Gargantuas, you'll realize that there is not one but two beasts in this film.
God's willies. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, hell, if you look at the freaking thumbnail
I know.
of this episode, you'll see the cover.
I'm joking.
It's a hefty-duty lunchbox, man.
I know.
Look at that thing. It's like a foot long, that thing. Love those zoom ins. Science. Got a bunch of people standing behind him who look like they don't have time for his shit. Now remember from Frankenstein Conquers the World that Frankenstein had immortal cells, so there could be parts of him that could exist, be alive independently, at least for a period of time. You remember the hand that survived for a while, even though being cut off. Again, I love the use of location shots here. It also kind of shows you that Japan has a very kind of, in a lot of ways, diverse topography. Like, everyone thinks Japan is so, built up by industrialization, but there are a lot of places in Japan that are very rural and very kind of wilderness. That's obviously a map painting. This shot right here reminds me of Gojira when they clear the hill and they see like the footprints. Mm-hmm. It was very reminiscent of that, where they're showing us one Gargantua, Gyra, but they're not showing us the other, who's, by the way, is named Sanda. For a second, I thought that said Toho. And I was like, geez, guys,
a little on the nose.
A little, patting yourself on the back a little too hard there, aren't we? Yeah, so right away they were seeing that, okay, the cells are that of Frankenstein's monster, but now, I guess I really should say Frankenstein, because in this continuity, Frankenstein was the monster, not the name of the doctor. I mean, they never really specified the doctor's name was Frankenstein. I'm so glad that actor's flying that plane, not the way they fly or drive cars in movies, like shaking the wheel around.
Oh boy.
Now look, okay, that's an actor in the suit in the foreground, in the background. Look how huge that matte painting is.
Yeah.
I think it's massive. That is a huge set.
The heck was that?
What?
Oh, lunch. No, the yell or whatever that was. That him.
Yeah, he's got this really kind of like caw, or his high pitched yeah. Da da da, shoot it up it out.
What should I have for lunch today? He just takes a big old turd on the runway.
It's a big set, though, again.
God, his face. That's fucking terrifying.
I know. And he's got the classic kind of Frankenstein monster brow still. Mm-hmm. But you can see now, So again, I guess the implication now is that the monster frame was much more monstrous. But I still feel they could have kept the original Frankenstein kind of the same, because he was kind of the original monster.
Yeah.
Whereas these are kind of like aberrations of him. More like evolved, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, like a further progressed version or something.
See, shots like here, the only problem with those, those perspective shots where they put him in the ground, is sometimes they make him too low. Mm-hmm. And again, because he's not so big, he's kind of able to... run. When you see that happening, run.
I know.
Don't... what are you doing? Run. You brought that on yourself.
Maybe she's just playing hard to get.
No, she wasn't playing hard to get, because she just stood there.
I guess he is kind of scaly in a weird way.
Parts of his body underneath.
That's weird.
Yeah, he's got a really interesting
Oh, so he just totally ate her.
Yeah. Again, you're seeing that now that he's actually predating on human beings.
So is that Frankenstein?
No, well, you'll see. They'll explain it.
Well, again, I know you said his name was like
Gyra.
Gyra or whatever, but
Right away, you're seeing
get the fuck out! That's me when I see the sun. I understand.
that
Dude,
beautiful
that
Irish
would not,
complexion of you.
how would that be deep enough right there?
Well, it wasn't. He just jumped in. But right away, you're seeing that he's got like a strong aversion to bright light, which kind of makes sense if he's kind of spent most of his time underwater. Probably doesn't like it.
So can he breathe underwater then?
It's never really explained, but it's pretty much
Or is he
implied
like
that
a
yes.
turtle or something where he's
Well,
like...
it's gonna be kind of explained a little bit his origins, where it kind of implying that maybe he kind of developed underwater, so he's got more of um, an amphibious component to his biology. See, if this was Nick, man, he'd be breaking chairs over all these people's backs.
Yeah, so he's dubbed too.
Yeah, again, I think again, it's a situation where they might have I'm pretty sure he was probably speaking Japanese, but again, maybe the accent was just too thick. I can't tell. He might be speaking English. It's hard to tell. If he is speaking English, the Japanese were far better at dubbing us than we were then back in the days, which honestly wouldn't have been. Yeah, it even says. I just checked real quick. Yeah, so obviously his voice is dubbed, so I think he might be speaking English.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said before in the other commentary, it's not uncommon sometimes when you have actors speaking a language that is not their native tongue that they're learning, kind of just strictly for the film they're in,
Yeah.
to be redubbed later on. Because even if they're saying the words, if they're not, if they don't have a grasp on the language, like the accent will be just too overpowering that you just can't understand them. I think that's one thing people don't really realize. It's not so much just to learn which words mean what, but how to really pronounce them right. Because if you're a native speaker, you're used to hearing the language spoken one way your whole life. So to suddenly hear it differently, it's like when people I know try to speak French to me, and they ask me, they're like, "Oh, what does this mean?" And I'm like, I honestly don't know what you said because I've never heard it spoken in that way. When we watch movies or shows, and like an actor who clearly doesn't speak French is speaking French, and you look at me sometimes like, "What did they say?" And I'm like, I don't know. And I'll have to like read the subtitles along with you because like I don't know what they're saying with that accent because I've only heard it spoken like the one way or the one few ways my whole life. But yeah, that's a beautiful shot right there. I like that. Now, they always show these hotel rooms in these movies, and I'm sure they do it for just the fact that it's a set and whatnot. Oh, by the way, this is Tokyo finally kind of looking a little bit more like the Tokyo we know.
Yeah.
You look outside your window and you see lights, but these hotel rooms are always so big. And I mean, I guess they're people of maybe like some prestige. They might get like a suite or something, but rooms in places like that in Japan, especially Tokyo, are not big.
Yeah.
Your hotel room would literally be like almost the space they're sitting in, and that's it. Because basically you just go there to sleep, and the rest of the time you're out and about. Yeah, but now Tokyo's starting to, which also shows you how fast Japan was building itself up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That within the same decade, you're seeing Tokyo like really become like a city of lights.
Fancy roof parties.
I want to have fancy roof parties.
Well, not if you have to worry about a Gargantua coming around. She's gonna get nabbed. Oh.
Well, listen to what she's singing. She's asking for it. That sheer top. Shit, I'd nab her.
Jesus. Especially because she's like a beacon. She's wearing yellow. Bright red hair. Oh, she's slowly coming undressed. Is she just a fancy stripper?
A fancy stripper. You know you made it, folks, when you can have rooftop parties and get yourself fancy strippers. That's it. That's it. Look at those moves. She must have gone to stripper school. It's it, you know. I always say it's interesting. It's interesting. I always start every sentence, but the reality of the matter is, it's interesting. You know, this is starting to also show you a little bit of globalization. You know, like, you know, not to pat ourselves on the back or anything, so don't read too much into this. But you know, there are obviously American entertainment is a worldwide export. So you're kind of seeing too, like Japanese, affinity for Western culture here. You know what I mean? Because for them, we look at this situation here, we just, oh, it's just a white woman singing. Whereas, for them, this would be like an imported thing. Like, oh, this is entertainment from like abroad. Kind of the way that for us, this movie is entertainment for abroad. God, they really hated that closing.
That's why you shouldn't have fucking hit the lights off.
Can I,
I'll take this. This will be a delicious snack. That's cool that they made the end. Dude, I'd be trying to jump off. I wouldn't just be laying there waiting.
Quick, turn on the lights and body shame him.
He flings her. Oh, well, that happens too.
Oh, faceplant. That's rough.
Yikes.
Sure, she's fine.
Guess the words are stuck in her throat now.
Ho ho!
But that means she's dead. What?
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 It's the last time I played to this crowd. Let me just put on my Hugh Hefner robe. Opens up the blinds. Where the bitch is at. Yeah, but just think, a few movies ago, you look at like the shots of Tokyo at night. There wasn't as many like kind of like glowy lights. There was lights, like illuminated city, but still the sign.
Cool they put in the stoplight or the spotlights, not stoplights.
Yeah, some intense stoplights.
Yeah, for him, so he knows when to stop and when to go.
I like it. I always said it was interesting, but I'm not gonna say it. God damn it. I like the fact that like kind of reminds me a little bit of Godzilla Raids again, where they had to kill all the lights to keep from attracting Godzilla at the shore. Here, they're turning everything on to keep Gyro from like moving in.
Yeah.
So I like it's the same mentality, but it's almost like if there was ever a city, especially nowadays, where a monster who's afraid of light would not go to, one would be Las Vegas.
Well, as long as...
Yeah, there would be Tokyo.
I was gonna say, as long as you're in actual Tokyo and you start to get outside, you'll be in trouble.
Well, yeah, it's like any... But, like, yeah, you go inside Tokyo, that city's lit up like a Christmas tree.
Oh, yeah.
So if you do not like bright lights, it's not the best place to be. Again, I'll say it, though. Surprisingly very quiet at night.
Mm-hmm. Even in the daytime. Depending on where you are.
Yeah. I like how spry he kind of is.
I know.
He's like the Nick Adams Dr. Stewart of this movie. Just quick to action. It's funny. It's not interesting, but it is funny.
It's gonna be the new. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny. Actually, there was nothing funny about what you just said, but it is funny that Kong from Skull Island, in a weird way, while yes, being very reminiscent of like the Toho Kong from King Kong vs. Godzilla, proportion-wise, almost kind of feels like the Gargantuas. If you look at him.
Yeah. I mean, a little more exaggerated because it's CG, but...
Well, yeah, but it's kind of like...
if you were to do the Gargantuas in a modern day movie and use CGI, I kind of get a sense they would kind of have that kind of feel.
Yeah.
I would love to see the Gargantuas make a comeback. There's so many classic Showa era kaiju that really never got out of the Showa era. I mean, a lot of them did, but stuff like the Gargantuas, like I feel like if they never made it in a Godzilla movie, they never really got out of the Showa era.
Yeah.
And there was plenty of kaiju from the Showa era Godzilla films that never even made it out. I guess like Titanosaurus, Megalon, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But recently in the comics, the more recent run of Godzilla comics, I know the Gargantuas have returned.
Oh, really?
And they have fought Godzilla. And it's funny, they kept their sizes kind of the same. So Godzilla's way bigger, so you would see them like tag teaming on Godzilla.
Mm-hmm.
Like these they almost sound like these two little like wrestlers. They felt like little luchador wrestlers just like jumping on Godzilla, putting him in headlocks. It was fun because they were kind of working off each other. It's a bear noise they're using, by the way, in case you were wondering. Looks like he has big, like, puffy cheeks.
I know.
It's like he's ugly, but there's something kind of cute about him. You know what I mean? There's something that's
Kind of
so...
looks like Gary Busey.
Wow.
Like his face got stung by bees. Just saying. Sorry, Gary Busey, but
Sorry.
your face is terrifying now.
He's got to talk like this.
Oh, not the piggies.
Again, I like seeing... Again, seeing a kaiju. He's definitely a kaiju. He's got the size. But the fact that he's, like, has very kind of normal biological needs.
Yeah. Maybe he's just really shy. I don't want to be the light.
He's tsundere. But yeah, you're seeing a more reclusive. He's behaving kind of more like an animal, where he's not just charging in headlong, unafraid of anything. And like Frankenstein, the Gargantua has always kind of exhibited much more human characteristics and human qualities, like their personalities, which get really separated from other kaiju, which just didn't give a shit about us half the time. We were just doing what they were doing. Which doesn't mean they have personalities, but their motivations are very different. We don't factor in good or bad to kind of their motivations. Whereas the Gargantuas, as you're starting to see now, very, very much, you can kind of relate to them more just by their behavior alone. And do consider us both good and bad, you know. Like, they are very much aware of us. They are not indifferent of us, and they are premeditative in the way they deal with us, which is cool. It's something different. It's not just, you know, it's not a one-trick pony that Toho's, you know, dishing out every move. They play around with the monster, both in design and behavior. But also, like with Frankenstein, I mean, this is a bit more of this obvious suit, but the anatomy of it is as such where the actor has a lot more freedom. I like how timid he acts.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of does feel like a big animal, though.
All right. Well, technically, right?
Well, think about it. You have some of the biggest, most dangerous animals in the world that can be scared off. I mean, I saw that one video that one time where a grizzly bear came into a guy's like campsite. He woke up in the morning, the grizzly bear was just kind of looking around, and he just started making a lot of yelling at it. And like, I think he slammed a few pots and pans, and the grizzly bear just took off running.
Yeah.
You know. Just because they can tear you apart doesn't mean
they have
the
fire.
Yeah. And then again, the suit's on fire here. When you see this, these aren't composite shots. These aren't a special effects shot. That suit with the actor is on fire. Yeah, that's happening.
It's on fire. I'm done.
Yeah. And unlike like a Godzilla suit, which is really big and dense, and you know, there's a lot of layers around the actor, the Gargantua suits are not that big. or not that built up. I mean, it's
Yeah.
mainly like in the shoulders and the chest. You see,
Jeez.
like he throws his hands up.
I
Like,
thought he
get
was
the
gonna
f-"
belly flop on him at first.
That'd have been amazing. Just
He was like, whoop.
boom.
Fuck that house. Fuck this tank.
Fuck that house too.
I know, right?
I like how he sustains damage, and they retain that throughout the film.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, he doesn't heal or is indestructible like other kaiju.
Does
Where
that mean they only had one suit? Well, I guess technically they had another one, right?
yeah, you'll
when we see it, but
you'll see him, Sanda. But I think for each Gargantua there was one suit. Also, too, it's weird seeing a suit where the actor's head is technically where the Gargantua's head is. Where normally, like, the actor's head is usually like in the neck
yeah.
of any kaiju suit. They kind of see out of like such a Godzilla. They tend to have like little holes in the neck where the actor can get, well, kind of see through, I guess.
Yeah.
And I know for the Godzilla mouth, the way they would open and close the jaw was like it was like a chin strap on the actor, and he would look down with his whole head and would pull down the bottom jaw to open it. And then when he looks
cool.
up, the jaw closes.
Yeah.
But something like the Gargantua, it's literally just kind of like a helmet on his head. Flying things. I'm sure they're going to be just fine in this movie.
Yeah. I'm sure it'll be fine.
I'm sure nothing's going to jump up in the air and grab them or swat at them.
Well, they're landing, so they're becoming easy targets in a minute.
I mean, just imagine if this was real, and you were like a soldier. You know, what would be going through your mind? Like, hey, like, this is what you're gonna do today. This is how you're gonna earn your paycheck this week. It's like, what the hell?
Right? What is that?
I mean, that's the thing. If you're in the armed services, regardless of what country you're in, or what branch of it you're in, like let's say if something like this happened, if there's a like you would watch the news and be all like that. Except, whereas people like us, you're like, oh shit, man. Well, hope we don't have to evacuate, or are we gonna have to evacuate? Where we're gonna go? You're gonna be like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to deal with this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean, like our first concern is, how are we going to get as far away we can from this? Whereas your job is, A, to get us as far away as we can from them while putting yourself as close as you have to be for this. It's something where if you're not in any kind of active service, you can't really understand and relate to. Because again, whenever I watch this movie, my first thoughts like, oh man, if this ever happened, I would try to go here or get out of the way or.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're in the service, like, no, you know exactly where you're going to go. Wherever that thing is. I mean, I guess now we have stuff like drones and whatnot, which is a good thing, too.
Yeah. Is that the other one?
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you'll be able to tell when it's the other one. They did a good job of making them distinctive.
Mm.
Not just physically, though, but also...
Does one have boobs?
No, one does, in
okay.
fact. One, in fact, does not have boobs.
Okay.
There are no boobs in this
That'd
film.
be pretty distinctive if there's some big old hairy titties.
I'm very sorry, but there are, in fact, no big, old, hairy titties in this movie.
Just man titties.
Yes.
Middies? Would they be called middies?
Middies.
Hairy middies?
I guess they are now, folks. Hashtag middies. It's funny on the first episode of. So now I'm saying it's funny instead of itching without even thinking about it. But on the first episode of the Kaiju Cataclysm, I was kind of trying to distinguish between just a monster versus a kaiju, and it is interesting. So kiss my ass. But he's behaving in a lot of ways more like Zilla from Godzilla '98, where he's more of like a hunter-gatherer animal who's just trying to move around an environment. I kind of likened Zilla in that movie to like a raccoon that's loose in a store, just trying to figure stuff out, trying to get around, hiding from us, and guy right here kind of feels like that. He's just kind of moving around. He's drinking. He's looking for something to eat. He's hiding from things. He feels more like a big animal here right now, but just in his behavior alone too. I mean, yeah, he's big, he's dangerous, but like any big dangerous animal, if you overwhelm them with force, you'll retreat. I mean, there's no big animal that has an ego that'll like make it, do something just for like the sake of honor. Again, the biggest, scariest bear, if you can overwhelm them with power, they'll run. Because like any other animal, they don't want to die. So if they feel like their back's against the wall, usually they'll only then attack if they have no choice. But if they can get away, if they feel like, there's a chance they're going to lose and there's a means of escape, they'll take it. You know what I mean? So here he's behaving very much like a big kind of lost, confused bear. He's getting what he needs, food and water where he can, but he's always looking around them, worried, because again, he's already got a taste of military might, so he knows that we can hurt him. And he's very much aware and very much, uneasy because of that. So he doesn't want to deal with this if he doesn't have to. And I like that. It's different. It shows you kind of a different kind of nature, and it represents something different, because essentially, like Frankenstein, the Gargantuas are kind of an extension of us in a weird way, whereas something like Godzilla was a wrathful, force of nature, something that was perverse by nuclear power, and he's meant to be this unstoppable, unrelatable thing. We're not supposed to be able to relate to Godzilla. Whereas the Gargantuas, we're absolutely supposed to relate to them, because if we were suddenly made giant, you can kind of see us acting a little bit like him a little bit. And again, stuff like this makes me think almost like a big child, almost.
Yeah. He's like, what's that? I want to play with that toy. Oh, I can't reach. God dang it.
I like he's getting frustrated. And again, that's one of the perks of having an actor who doesn't have to, you could have reached that. Lazy asshole.
His heart just wasn't in it.
Really not. But again, the perk of having a more human-esque suit is that the actor got him.
Whoa!
Is that the actor can really kind of perform more in this. He's not as limited. Why are they just flying so low?
I was gonna say, why aren't they going higher?
I'm listening to the roar there, and I'm pretty sure that's actually the roar from King Kong versus Godzilla. King Kong's roar. They just they pitched it up, and I never really noticed that, but I just noticed that last time where he did the whole thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's definitely King Kong's roar, but it's just really, really loud and high pitched. Which Toho does reuse some of the sounds of the different monsters and kind of affects the how they just change the pitch and whatnot.
Don't go low, bro. Don't you do it.
I think you're trying to use the force against it.
I know.
And that bear noise is actually something they start using for Godzilla later on. One of the rare times where they actually used an actual real existing animal sound for Godzilla. Which is actually funny because the actors did say they would reference like videos of bears when they were for Godzilla. So they always kind of liken Godzilla's movements like a big bear, which makes sense if you look at him, because he essentially moves like a big bear does on its hind legs. Lasers.
Pew pew pew. It's time for your laser spa treatment.
Poor guy. The maser cannons becomes a staple
in the face.
I know right now there's no logistical reason for Japan to have it, but I kind of wish that maybe secretly the self-defense force had developed maser cannons, just because it's like, well, I mean, at the end of the day, it's something that just shoots something else at something, so it's still a weapon, but I'm kind of like, it would be just kind of cool, like, I hope Japan is not attacked. That would not be cool, but, there's a weird, Toho geek inside of me that figures if it ever was, all these cool weapons that we're seeing would, they would,
Yeah.
come out of secret to defend the country. You would see like a Super X and all that. Like, oh, the Gundam they had in Odaiba, the new Gundam they're putting in there. Like, I like to feel that it's actually a real Gundam that's just hiding in plain sight. Like, oh, this is just a replica of the real thing. Yeah, replica my ass. Someone ever steps to you, that thing's gonna start walking around. This whole sequence right here would kind of later on be kind of repeated in Godzilla vs. Megalon, where Megalon was doing something similar to this. One of the rare times you see the Self-Defense Force actually winning against the monster.
Because they're tasing him.
Poor guy, look at him. Self-Defense Force is like, you stepped into the wrong hood, son.
Oh, yeah.
Look at them, they are just... Ow.
Wrong decision.
Yeah, you can see the body's taking damage, and I like that. They do like all the scarring, the bleeding. And you really feel bad for him here. It's like, oh my god. Look at him.
Also, like, again, I think I said this before. What was it we watched? I don't remember, but when they caught the bay on fire, and I'm like, okay, you're electrifying the water,
lake,
so
yeah.
you're killing everything in it too.
Ooh.
That's rough.
Yeah, it is rough. I've been electrocuted before. Let me tell you something. I know exactly what he's feeling. Not to that degree, but I've never been attacked by the Self-Defense Force. I'm not that tall.
You're pretty tall, though.
What's that?
I like how they all just fell.
There we go.
Wait, shouldn't the water be electrified still?
They probably turned it off. Sanda.
So he's like a reddish.
Yeah. Always has a bit of like a Gigantopithecus kind of look to him. But right off the bat, you're going to see again, very human-esque behaviors, but very different. Like, notice his approach. So right away, he's coming to his aid, which shows empathy and compassion. He's a little bit bigger, too. That's another way you can tell he's taller and broader.
You guys are jerks.
Yeah,
Hey, fuck all y'all.
But see, I like how he's kind of like, not really like challenging us, but he's kind of just like, almost like telling us to stop. Like, okay, we're leaving. Which, again, it's a kaiju directly addressing us, the humans, and asking for mercy.
Yeah.
Because he's seen what we were doing. He realized that, yeah, we can hurt them. And he's saying, please stop, we're leaving. That's kind of unprecedented. We've never seen that in a kaiju film before. We've never seen a kaiju just acknowledge us kind of on a equally sentient level, asking us to stop hurting them. That we'll give in to your demands, which is to go away, for now anyway. Just please stop. That's kind of amazing. We've never seen that before.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes they've retreated, but it was never like, okay,
Well,
you
usually
got...
it's because their butts are getting kicked.
Yeah, it's more or less just an animal retreating by instinct. But here, he was basically doing everything other than just speaking the words aloud, saying, please, we'll leave, don't worry about it. We don't want any more trouble. And I thought that's amazing, because we've never seen that before in a kaiju film.
How come so many of these guys go out into the forest in white suits? I'm like, guys.
Or Gyla. See, I've seen his name written different way. That's weird, because here they're saying Gyla. And I've seen Guy. I hate when they do the translation sometimes, and it's like, I've seen it done different ways.
I found some dirt.
That's that's good. That's definitely dirt you got there. Good job finding the dirt.
Or is it poop? No, I'm just kidding.
Why is it always poop with you?
I don't know.
Why does it have to
Kaiju
be?
gotta poop, right? They eat plenty.
Yeah, most places I see it written down, it's written as like Gyra. So I don't know. He's also known as the Green Gargantua.
Is he green? He didn't look it.
Yeah, he's green. Have you not noticed? What color did you think it was?
I just thought he was like a dark brown or black.
No, he's green. Then again, they always show him under like really low light.
Yeah, so. Sorry, I keep coughing.
He also kind of reminds me a little bit of like an Oni. Yeah, I like how you're basically seeing them kind of behave. I mean, again, you kind of feel bad for them because again, they're not being portrayed typically like.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna keep saying Gyra because again, that's pretty much how it's written everywhere else. But yeah, I like how he's afraid now.
Yeah. Well, he should be.
Well, yeah, well, and that's my point. And the irony is that it's only because Gyra was like attacking people. Like, and that's the only reason why Sanda came down too, because he needed to go to his aid, whereas otherwise he was just up in the mountains just doing his thing.
And I like how his mouth is a lot bigger, it seems like, whereas Sanda,
Yeah.
he's got more of a normal mouth.
Well, I think Gyra has kind of that with that underbite, where like the bottom jaw kind of comes up and over a little bit more. Gives him kind of more of a monstrous kind of quality.
I found a stone.
Yes, that's good. He found rocks. Excellent work. The geology department will be so pleased. Good eye, by the way.
I've seen that.
And I'm like, the amount of damage he was taking, they should be like massive
Big
chunks of him
chunks,
lying around. It's like, look what I found. Yeah, there's like a 10-foot long chunk of hide lying on the beach.
I know.
We could use that. And here they're kind of explaining what they are. Basically saying that essentially they kind of grew from cells from Frankenstein. Basically, when Frankenstein was physically attacked and was being taking hit and damages, parts of him, yeah. So Gyra grew in the water, eating like you say, playing. So that explains why he's kind of amphibious. He kind of developed in the water.
Yeah.
Implying that too, like Frankenstein, the true nature of his power is that while yes he can physically be destroyed, same thing with Gargantuas. When one is destroyed, more will crop up because more can grow from their cells. So you can destroy the individual, but you can't destroy kind of what they are conceptually because more will grow. So even, again, we have a situation where we can actually physically damage these kaiju, but we really can't because doing so will just make more of them.
Yeah.
So how do you fight something that you can actually fight and even win against?
They just need to pull a camera and blast him in his base.
Yeah, I think, yeah. They could do that, I
Call up
suppose.
the folks who did that.
Call up the folks who did that. Even though I don't think
You know what?
Toho and Dai were really on, like, were that chummy. Yahoo!
Oh, duckies. Or loons. I think they're loons.
The hills are alive with the sound of music. This is... Well, I'm just going to say this is really dumb. Let's just all walk through the woods holding hands singing.
Hey, dreams are still alive, okay?
All dreams turn to nightmares.
Soon, I'm sure.
Yeah. So I think the reason why it's written differently everywhere is. I don't know.
They just want to be special.
I think they're writing it more like how it's pronounced in Japanese, probably.
Probably, yeah.
You guys got Corey Matthews hair.
I know. Well, Corey Matthews had tighter curls, but he's trying.
He's trying. He's like the Frankenstein to Corey Matthews. The Corey Matthews of Gargantua is the more perfected. Yes, boys and girls, a Boy Meets World reference in a Kaiju commentary. You're welcome. That's Simone Simmons singing in the background?
No.
Yes, I managed to work an Epica reference in here. Seriously, why are they just singing? Like, what the hell is this?
How are your voices not dead? Be like dying of thirst. Y'all are way too happy.
Looks like the area around your dad's house when I went to...
Werewolf Country?
Yeah, when I went to drop you off after our first date, and I'm just like, something is going to leap out and, like, kill me.
Oh, there it is.
I love how something's so big, using the mist to kind of hide.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you dummies. Why are you there? Oh my god!
Shoo! That'll work.
Maybe we shouldn't have been singing this whole time to attract them.
Maybe we shouldn't be out and about in an area that we just had a giant monster. I don't know. Look, if I knew those things were walking around, I would not be in any wooded area in Japan.
Yeah.
Because their size alone, they can get from one place to the other relatively quick.
Sucks to be her. Oh, she's gone.
I know it's supposed to look like she kind of tripped and fell. It literally just looked like she leaned over.
Off.
I mean, obviously they have to make it look. It just looked like, I'm just going to fall now.
Yeah, I'll totally come and help you. Bye. Psych.
Let me take this convenient path down. Dun, 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 dun.
Jesus. He just falls. Oh.
Catches himself on the branch next to the other, just hanging there. Well, this is awkward. Homegirl's got some upper body shape later, yeah. You get a quick workout while I'm down here. Just start doing chin lifts.
Anytime now.
Look at yeah, get it. Yeah. Boo.
Oh. Oh no.
Boom.
Really? You just had to do that, huh? Oh.
Oh, I know how that feels, bro.
You going down.
Not unlike her.
I feel like that would have still really hurt her.
Well, better than the rocks below.
Yeah.
Right away, we're seeing the differences here between the two. Like, one is very compassionate towards human beings. The other is, well, not. It seems like both of them kind of inherited different personalities of Frankenstein. Whereas, like, Frankenstein could be very kind, but you also saw moments where he had, like, this rage, this aggression.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like it was kind of divided up. Like Gyra's got the kind of the aggressiveness of Frankenstein, whereas Sonda has the compassion. So it's basically like Frankenstein was kind of split into two individuals, personality-wise. They're basically kind of like two sides of a coin. Oh. Every time I see like mobile headquarters, I just picture the whole headquarters just kind of sprouting off the ground and walking away. That's ridiculous. But also interesting and funny.
Santa. I just want to say Santa.
Santa. Well, he had like a beard and stuff.
Young Santa.
I think he almost blends in.
Oh yeah, holy shit, I didn't see him
Yeah.
at first.
And here we're going to kind of see really the differences in kind of who they are. Like, he looks over. Oh. And realizes that,
So he didn't know he was eating people?
probably not. He didn't realize why he was being attacked. Now he's understanding
What does he eat then to survive?
Well,
Animals?
he's probably like omnivorous, or
What
yeah, it could be
fascist
too.
Jason?
Well, again, he kind of relates to human being. He has like Frankenstein's memories like that, and now he understands why they were attacking him. That he was going around like he was like he's like, get the fuck out of here! Look at him, you son of a bitch! Bam!
Yikes. He's like, what the fuck you doing? At least Santa's got the upper hand because he's already hurt.
Yeah, no, he's like that busted up leg.
Not only that, but all those scratches and gouges on him.
Oh, you mean Gyra?
Yeah.
You said Santa.
Yeah, I said Santa's got the upper
You
hand.
did say Santa?
Santa.
Okay.
That's his name, right?
Yeah, not Santa.
No, I said Santa.
I mean, well, he's got a broken leg now, though.
Santa's got a broken leg?
Yeah, with the
Oh,
rock
I
leg.
was talking about Gyra.
Well, Gyra's all cut up, yeah, but see,
Yeah.
Santa's still got the busted up leg.
Yeah. Well, I guess they kind of got equal footing.
Oh, well, apparently not. But yeah, I like how what is Stacey saying, like, I came to your aid because, I
Tiger
thought...
attack.
I know, it does. Looks better. But yeah, it very much shows, like, I came to help you because I thought you were the victim. I thought they were
Yeah.
attacking you for the same reason why I have the memories of, like, our dad, I guess, if you want to call him that. Because he was different. And like Frankenstein, he was not targeting people. He was just kind of, he was mistaken identity. There was another monster that was killing people that
Yeah.
I was being blamed for it. But now he realizes, no, you are that other monster. You are actually out there hurting people. You just, you brought this on yourself. And because Sanda's so, and it kind of seems like an instinctive level so fundamentally against that to see someone like him, like basically his brother, basically a piece of himself, do that, it almost probably feels so like a betrayal to him. So I like how you see kind of this very kind of Shakespearean, like a rift between these two. Yeah, right away.
How do you know, though? So how did he name them?
I don't...
They just kind of were like, oh, whatever, sounds good.
I'm not sure, because again, I've watched this movie again a lot recently, because again, there was a period of time where I hadn't seen this movie in quite a while, I just hadn't gotten around to it. I mean, I used to see it a lot when I was a kid, and then I watched it a little bit more as an adult, and then there was a chunk of time where just, for whatever reason, I never just hadn't watched it in a minute, and it's one of those movies like,
Yeah.
oh man, I haven't watched War of the Gargantuas in like forever. But I don't really think I picked up exactly how they named them. But then again, a lot of these monsters, they don't really say how they named them. Even Godzilla, I mean, Gojira, they never really... his name was based on the Odo Island legend, but how do the people of Odo Island name him? It's like, they didn't really say that. It's just kind of like,
Yeah.
it works.
Get the fuck out!
Yeah, see, shots like this, I feel
I was gonna say,
he's
yeah,
too low.
He'd be on his knees, maybe.
Yeah, he should be... His head would not be in the frame. You would basically... Yes. Because you
Yeah,
look at
now
him here,
he's-
yeah, that's a good... That's actually done really well here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, shots like that are done really, really well. Here,
Yeah.
these are miniature sets. And I like too because he's kind of a bully in the sense that when he gets into a fight with someone who can kind of kick his ass, he runs away. You know what I mean? Because he's been basically picking on things that are smaller and weaker than him. And the second he gets a taste of it, he runs. Even when he was fighting us.
He's like, I don't like it.
And again, we're trying to do the whole thing where it's like with Frankenstein, we got to prove that now one of these guys is okay. One of these guys should be left alone. And the only reason why he even came out of hiding was to protect, his, I guess, his brother, for lack of a better way of calling him. But now that he knows his brother is, bad, he's not going to, he probably won't, well, they're hoping he won't, show up anymore.
Yeah.
And if not, he might even say, well, he might even be able to help us, basically, because... But that's here they're saying here the problem is, okay, fine, blow them all to hell, and what's going to happen? More of them are going to pop up. Because again, these guys grew from just a few cells of Frankenstein, so what happens when you scatter them bits and pieces all over the countryside? Well, same thing's going to happen. They're going to grow, you're going to have a bunch of Gargantuas running around. Which again is kind of... it reminds me a little bit of the beast from 20,000 Fathoms, where they could kill it with our weapons, but its blood was irradiated, so anyone who was exposed to its blood would get radiation poisoning and die. So they couldn't shoot at it because they couldn't have it bleed out everywhere. So we have a way to actually kill it, but we can't. And like with the Gargantuas, we can kill them, but we can't.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, what the hell do we do then? You know what I mean? So now we have this kind of unique scenario here where it's like, we're trying to find a way to, how do we not only not kill them, but how do we preserve them? What do we create a habitat for one of them? And I like how they're talking about putting Sanda in Siberia or Canada. Like other countries are like, hey, can we ship out this giant monster to you? Yeah, we can put him in Siberia or Canada. Yeah, what do the Russians and the Canadians feel about that? Just gonna drop off this big 100-foot tall monster in your backyard. You don't mind, right? You know it's scientific because he had a protractor. Gosh, she's so pretty.
I know. I don't know. Let's go find out.
The way he put down that pencil was very Nick Adams. And I like how now they're still using the lights, but you're going to see that change soon. I also like how the military types in these movies are not portrayed as just these dumb, warmongering kind of buffoons, so to speak. Like, even though they're just saying, yes, we need to kill him, he's making a valid, he's understanding, like, look, I understand what you're saying, but the reality is we can't just stand by and, and risk. You're worried about the life of one of these Gargantuas, like, he's good. Well, we have an entire country full of good people. If you're saying his life is on par with a human life, well, it's like anything else. Do you save one life at the expense of millions or vice versa? You know what I mean? So I like how then they have to kind of come at them with a scientific angle. Okay, never mind that. If you blow him apart and shoot him, more will grow.
That's spooky looking.
I know. And here you're seeing, too, how they're a little bit smaller. Like, they're big, but they don't, tower through Tokyo.
Yeah.
Which I think is good in that it creates more of a sense of vulnerability for them. You can't kind of help but feel a little sorry for him. He kind of feels a bit like a lost, confused animal because, again, he's big, but he's not so big where he looks so intimidating, in the city.
Yeah.
And also, too, that he's kind of looking around, confused, checking everything out. He doesn't feel like he's really in a position of power. He's not looming large in the city, just, eyes forward, stomping through. He feels out of place. And you can tell that he himself feels out of place.
Yeah.
Looks like weird trilobites or something. Behind.
I think it is. Something like that.
God damn it, woman. Look at her running in heels. She did it before Claire in Jurassic World. He like parkours right over that thing. Get the fuck over there. Get the fuck over there. He's like, go, just go. See, this whole thing right here where she's running out to go find Sonda. I almost said Santa. God damn it, you almost made me say Santa.
You're welcome.
It reminds me a little bit of...
He snaps her neck. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow, that got dark. It reminds me a little bit of like the Peter Jackson King Kong, whereas rather than Naomi Watts' character, being found by Kong and like taken up by the Empire State Building, in this version, she goes looking for Kong to help him, and it kind of makes me feel that too, where the monster's being portrayed in a very sympathetic light, and she's willing to put herself at risk for him. So it has a bit of a King Kong kind of feel to it. Which, again, I mean, Toho was very much in love with King Kong. Obviously, they had their own Kong, and Godzilla was very much influenced by the original King Kong. So, with the Gargantuas, you can kind of feel a little bit of that kind of Kong flavor to them, which I doubt very much was by accident. And again, that is very much the King Kong roar, just kind of pitched up and with a little bit of other effects added to it. He also kind of looks like a really grotesque version of like Harry from Harry and the Hendersons. That is the emptiest I've ever seen a Tokyo subway.
I was going to say. Oh.
Ooh.
Even though I feel like his arm's a little too small right there, but...
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to... Again, they're not so big, but yeah, I feel like he should maybe been a little bit bigger there. I don't know.
I would just stay down there.
Yeah, I was going to say, get right in the middle.
Yeah.
And don't move. I mean, you gotta think they're probably safer there than they were in the hotel room.
Bad Santa.
Not Santa. Gotcha.
Oh.
Gotta catch them all. Using that big hand puppet.
She needs to stop going after these guys.
And I love how Sanda just kind of came after him. Because he knows his brother is, but he knows his brother is going to cause trouble. He knows... I like he's kind of like the older, more responsible sibling that they call when, like, your brother is getting drunk at the tavern and, like, picking fights or whatever. And they'll, like, call him. Look at him. See, I like how he's...
It's like, man...
I like how he's trying to be compassionate, like, And... Gara right away is very kind of, wants to retreat. Because, again, he knows that Sonic can really kick his ass if he wants to. And he doesn't really... it's kind of sad, too, because he doesn't really understand why Sanda's so pissed at him.
Yeah.
He doesn't really get it. Like, he's like, what's the problem? Why is it wrong for me to do this? It's not as basically trying to say, like, you can't do this. It's not... and I like that. Like, see him, like... He's trying to appeal to him, and I think that's really interesting. And if you think about it, Gara's been shot at, beaten. He's really spooked and panicky by this point in the movie. Where his brother's really... And his brother knows he's really trying to just talk him down. You know, he's trying to fight, and his brother's like, no, no, come on, relax. And then, nope, see? Boom.
Yikes.
Shows you how strong Son is. They're just pushing right in that build. But again, everything he's doing is more reactionary. It's more like, okay, even now, say he's still not trying to fight him. He's still just saying, come on, let's just... And again, this is so cool. It's a monster fight, but it's one like we've never seen. It's like one monster is going to end up fighting the other because he's really not being given any choice. But he really doesn't want to. I like how his whole...
Stop rushing in.
I know, really. Can you please stop doing this shit? Look how smarmy he looks.
Most important person, even though I'm not the same person as I was before. Literally.
Well, she is.
No, but I meant him. You're the most important person to me, but he's different, is what I was saying. He's not the same person. So, come on, let's just hug it out.
Well, again, I like how basically Sanda's approach is like, you've been drinking, let's just go home. Let's just go home, we'll talk about it. Gara's like, Mom always loved you more.
That's true, though.
And again, you can really tell that, look, every time Sanda just pushes him, he like sends him flying back. You can definitely tell he is much stronger than him. And if he really, really wants to, he could really just probably
backhand him.
Beat the shit out of him, like really bad. But he's not. He's holding back. He's just trying to get his brother out of there. He's like, let's just go. Let's just go. We can kick each other's asses way up in the mountains if you want. Yeah. Let's get the hell out of here first. You know, and it'd be kind of, it'd be cool to see in a continuity where, I mean, usually like Godzilla and stuff comes and saves the day, but usually it's more just by chance or just because, you know, Godzilla ends up being the lesser of the two evils kind of situation. But I would love to see a Kaiju continuity where we actually, I guess Mothra is this way to some degree, but we actually have a Kaiju who does actually kind of come and help us, like an actual like legit superhero Kaiju where it's like, and one who
not
kind
a
of
jerk Kaiju.
Yeah, and one who understands the stakes. Like Sanda is trying to get his brother out of the city because he knows that
they're hurting people.
Yeah, that even just this is going to cause destruction and you know, collateral damage. So he's like, okay, his objective is kind of the same as the military. It's like, all right, we need to stop you by minimizing, you know, the risk to civilians, and that's Sanda's intention. So it'd be kind of cool to be like, okay, have almost like a superhero monster that kind of really is working directly with us, and basically saying, okay, let's get, you know, when he shows up, you don't have to worry about, oh God, now we're going to have two big monsters fighting in the city. We have one monster who knows what needs to be done, and who's probably in a better position to get the other one out of there.
Yeah.
And the irony here is the self-defense force is probably causing more property damage.
Hey now, they're trying.
It really is like Godzilla 98. Which, yes, we will get to that movie further down the road, but we will get to that movie.
That roar. I'm assuming that was a roar.
Yeah.
Very bassy.
Look at that. Bam. I love how crazed Gar looks. Again, you can see that it's almost like he's angry and rageful, but he doesn't really understand why. It very much feels like he inherited this kind of behavior.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of the sad thing about him. He's not even really angry for any reason. This aggression is just bred into him. Like, he inherited Frankenstein's aggression. So it's not even really his.
Yeah.
He's just kind of burdened with it, you know, so it's kind of his creation. Whereas really it's like, so one of them is really not more evil than the other. One is just kind of got the luck of the draw, you know. It's kind of like Sanda got all the good looks, the athleticism, you know. He's a nice guy. Gaara's kind of like the angrier, shorter little bro, you know what I mean? And again, look at Sanda here. He's just
we just go.
Just doesn't want to fight, and I love that. I mean, his brother's been a complete dick to him.
Yeah.
But he just doesn't want to fight. He's like, He legitimately cares for him, and I love that.
Hug it out.
And he's trying to. That's
I
the thing.
know.
That's look at him. He's trying to like just come on, bro. Let's just. And he's doing all this with a busted up leg
I
too.
know.
But even he's got his limits.
All right.
Let me tell you something. I've had to get a few drunk people out of a bar. Sometimes, after a while, it's just a lot easier just to be like, all right, you know what? I'll apologize for this in the morning. You just grab them, manhandle them, and drag them out of there.
All right.
It's like I do this out of love and because you're
Yes.
kind of asking for it. Like it's like, okay, we've tried doing it my way. I will do it your way. And knock the shit out of you and drag you out of here if I have to. But I love you. And again, you can see too when he really gets going, he's a bigger guy. Oh, look at him hair grabbing. That's weave pulling right there. Damn. I would love for them to do another Gargantuas movie.
All right. With the CG now, it could be really cool.
And that's the interesting thing. You could kind of make it a sequel to this movie.
Well, yeah.
I know Toho has made, in the Millennium series, sequels to films from the show era.
Let's just be done already. Oh.
And this part's really cool because now you're going to see the self-defense force kind of working with Sanda. Like, you're going to know if they're going to be targeting Gyra, not him. Because they realize, for better or for worse, again, he's in a better position. Yeah, them. He's in a better position to get him out of there because he's bigger and stronger. And because now it's very clear that his intention is to do just that. So even if we are going to destroy them both, let's get them out of the city first. And if one of them is actively trying to do that to the other,
Yeah.
let's kind of help him out. And then kind of worry about the rest later. Ow. And again, I like how more fluid the fight looks.
Yeah.
Because again, with the kind of suits they have, the actors can really I mean, I know this is all hard work and these are great performances, but it must have been so much fun to do this too. To really be able to kind of cut loose like this.
Yeah.
Look, they look like kind of big wet bears in the water.
Just rinse it off for round 2. Or 3 or 4. Whichever round you want to count it as.
Yeah.
Now they're like, let's just have a splash fight. That's easier.
And look at Gyara's messed up looking.
Those boats are really close.
Well, they're right in the harbor.
Oh, I know, but still.
It's got to hurt so much more now that he's wet.
Mm-hmm. I would think.
I remember when I was a kid and I first saw this movie. It was always so strange to see a kaiju movie where they look so human.
Right?
Look at that. That's awesome. Oh.
Oh.
Denied. Boom. Look at that. Ow.
Yikes.
Yikes.
I would not like that. He's like, really, bro? Really? Hell yeah.
Something's just had it at this
Give
point.
me another boat.
No, these guys were always so unique, and again, it always amazed me that we never saw them in movies again. Even and again, I know after a while, it just kind of became tradition. They just put everything in the Godzilla movies, but I thought these guys would have made great adversaries to Godzilla. And again, they did in the comics, and I think it's a great idea to have these two just like.
Those headdresses look so dumb. I know they have to do it because of actual wounds, but
Yeah, well, at this point, I don't really think you're
I know.
you're
I
thinking
know.
of much about fashion.
Hey, she's still got her makeup on, and it's perfect. Okay, she's got little smudges, but everything else is still perfect.
Priorities, man.
So, I think she cares a little bit.
Just a little bit. I want to be crazy now.
Now it's a bubble bath.
There's that big water tank that Toho. I know they've since drained it. I don't know if they refilled it back up there, but where they always do a lot of the water sequences.
Yikes.
Underwater volcano. So, Sam, okay, is the volcano coming up because of the bombs they're dropping? Because I always kind of thought that's a bit convenient.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like the octopus in the international version of Frankenstein Comics, where I'm like, oh, well, that just happened. Like, it's like a very convenient solution to a problem
You
that
know
just.
what? Maybe it is.
I mean, I'll liken it to maybe the bomb was being dropped. I mean, obviously Japan has volcanoes, volcanic islands. So I'm wondering, like, okay, maybe that's why.
So pretty. I mean, not if you're in it, but
Yeah, really not if you're in it. It's a good model, though.
I know.
What's it supposed to be like? What, like a Roman candle, whatever they're called?
A Roman candle?
Yeah,
What's a Roman candle?
it's like a firework kind of thing. Like the original story of Frankenstein, where he was burned to death, burned alive.
Yeah.
I like how these guys are kind of creatures of Frankenstein, and they're kind of implying they're being burned alive, like kind of this original story of Frankenstein. So I like how it kind of harkens back to the original source material that kind of
Yeah.
inspired all of this. It's a nice little nod. I mean, I don't know if that was the intention on Ishiro Honda's part, but I would imagine it would be. Otherwise, it's a really funny coincidence. But yeah, I kind of like how it's still kind of they are. You cannot help but feel they are tragic in who and what they are, and they're kind of consumed in flame. Kind of very poetic ending, I'd say.
Yeah.
Well, folks, there we have it. War of the Gargantuas. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Peace.